Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for taking the time to spend a little time with me. I always appreciate that. And we're just going to jump right into this franchise mode. We're not going to wait for the regular season. We're going to craft the roster the way we want to craft it. And what I'm going to show you in this particular video today is just me selecting my team, which is obviously going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you know me, as well as just showing you some of the settings, and his new settings and, how I'm probably going to set up my franchise. So let's dive right into that. And really soon, guys, I will be bringing you week 1 of preseason, and then we'll get it underway. I'm going to get this content out early and often and try to have some fun with this game we call Madden. So here we go. We're going to select the Pittsburgh Steelers. And right now we're going to, of course, go with the head coach of Mike Tomlin, preseason week 1. We're going to go in and create the settings, and don't get funny, guys. Don't get funny. I know you're seeing that password right there, but of course, by the time you see this footage, this password will be changed. And the reason why I have to do that, because some of you guys are weird out there. You're very weird. I've had people see my password in the past. They join the league and they create all these crazy names. Kind of weird out there, but have no fear. That's going to be changed by the time you guys see the footage. So let's get into it, guys. Of course, we're going to go with all Madden simulation. I'm going to do 8-minute quarters, no acceleration clock, offensive play cooldown. The number of offensive plays that need to be called before a user can call a previous called offensive play. Yes, we're going to put that on about 5. This is kind of how we did it when I was playing in the online league, so I'm going to kind of replicate that. Offensive play call limit. The amount of times in a game a player can call the same offensive play before it is locked from further use. We're going to put that on 5 as well. Defensive play cooldown. Now you have the defensive one as well, so we're going to set that exactly the same, 5 and 5. That's just to give me a little challenge, right? And then also, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm playing technically an online franchise, I think this will apply to the CPU as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that's how we're going to do with that. Dynamic momentum, home field advantage. While on, dynamic momentum and home field advantage will work normally. When off, dynamic momentum and home field advantage will be disabled. And this is something, guys, that we now can toggle on and off. I'm going to keep it on for the time being. And as we go through the season, if it starts to feel a little too crazy, a little too cheesy and things like that, then we'll back away from that and cut it off. So again, most of the stuff you guys have seen before, but for some of you guys who wanted to see some of the new settings, I'm just going through each setting of this franchise, showing you how I will be setting it up. And for the things that are new as far as the commissioner tools, you'll be able to see it in this video. And I know that they did discuss bringing more tools, because there's definitely more things that you would need as far as customizing your franchise. So a lot of this stuff you guys are familiar with, season experience. We're going to keep that on full control. Weekly training, manual, trades and free agency manual, all of this stuff you've seen before. So I'm just going to skip through this here. Managing practice reps. Sometimes I keep that on auto. Just to see if the CPU will adjust it appropriately. So I'm going to try it on auto right now. And then, you can still come back in here and change it if you want, if it doesn't seem like, the reps are being applied the way you want it to be. So I'm going to try it on auto. Here's one of the newer features, reordering your depth chart. As you can see here, it says when auto, the depth chart will reorder when players are acquired or return from injury. When on manual, the depth chart will never reorder. And that's exactly how I want it on manual, so I can control that. This is one of the more frustrating things that you'll see and you've seen in the years past, is that depth chart just automatically reordering. And it's not keeping in the settings and, the structure that you have for it. So glad that they gave us something like that. Auto progress players, nope. Tutorial, auto progress talents, nope. We're going to keep all of that off. Tutorial pop-ups, I cut all of that off. Ball hawk, I turn that off. And, all of this stuff I pretty much turn off. Switch assist, I leave that on sometimes, so I'll just leave that on, keep individual. And again, none of this is really going to matter because, again, me doing this, I'm playing in an offline, even though it's an online league, if that makes sense. So this is not going to matter because I'm the only user. Controlled player art. Standardize the controlled player art setting for all players in the league, or allow the individual setting differences. And we'll keep it individual. So this stuff you've of course seen before. Trade deadline. We'll keep it on. Trade type. Enable all. Trade difficulty. And I think this is a newer setting as well. So this says normal, hard, very easy, or easy. I'm going to go with hard. I'm going to go with hard and see how that plays out, and see what kind of trades we can pull off. And if necessary, maybe as we continue through the, maybe the next season or what have you, we'll go to very hard. But I definitely want to see how this plays out. I'm going to try to pull off some trades in this season, just try to make it interesting through this franchise mode. Salary cap, we're going to leave that on, of course. Free agent motivation impact. Here's another newer setting. Determine how much motivations affect player signings. Raising the impact makes it easier to sign interested players and more difficult to sign players with lower interest. So what I'm going to do is, get high, very high, none, low, normal. Let's put it on high. Let's put it on high so that way we can make it a little bit tougher to sign players who are not interested in coming to the team. So, make it a little more realistic. Practice squad stealing, you've seen all of that. Relocation settings, you can put it on user only, everyone. Actually, I'm going to put it on everyone because I'm curious to see whether the CPU will relocate a team. So let's do that. Staff talent cost modifier. Multiply the amount of staff points needed to purchase each talent. Slowest is 3 times, slower 2 times, slow 1.5, normal is 1 time, or fast is 0.5. So let's see, staff cost modifier. I guess I'll leave that on normal for now. Injuries, yes. Pre-existing injuries, yes. Practice injuries, I'll keep it on yes. Progressive fatigue, prospect storylines, draft timer. We'll leave that on as well. Fantasy draft order. I don't care about any of that because I'm not doing that. Free agent notifications on stage 1, 5, 10, unlimited. We'll leave all that the same. And everything else you're seeing here, if I'm not mistaken, is pretty much the same. Breakout scenarios, development trait regression. When the setting is on, players will have their development trait evaluated for regression every offseason. I think we've seen this before as well, because I can't really identify right out the gate what's new and what isn't. Some of the newer ones I've already pointed out, but I can't remember some of this other stuff, because if I'm being honest and being frank, franchise mode still isn't as deep as it needs to be. We all know that. So some of these features is hard to even determine what has been and what was there before. I think most of this stuff has been there. Desired number of star development players, superstar abilities, you can cut them on or off. You guys may have heard me say before Madden started, as far as this particular Madden 24, that I said I was thinking about playing without abilities. The only problem is, though, is I've been told, guys, by a lot of people who are like these the slider gurus, guys who test the game, lab the game. A lot of people have said, man, that when you turn off abilities, you can get good gameplay, but it makes a lot of the players just ordinary. And there's certain things that players will not do if they don't have an ability. And I don't want to compromise that, right? What I really wish is there was a way that you could turn off certain abilities, right? Or if you could separate X Factor abilities from superstar abilities and etc. Or again, being able to cut off individual abilities, or let's say not allow certain abilities to be available in your league. That would be a better option than, what we're getting right here. So there you have it. Roster size, in-season player movement limit, determine the amount of players a user can add or remove from their team each week during the regular season. Okay, we'll leave that all the same. Player overall cut restrictions. And boom, I think that's it. I think that is it. So like I said, guys, not so many different options here. There are a couple different ones. I think there are some things with the draft as well, more than just the timer, I thought. Trade difficulty, I know that one for sure is new. Free agent motivation. What else? Draft timer. If on, the timer will run for each pick during the draft unless paused. Okay, that might be, I don't know if this is new or not. But again, like I said, man, it's not a whole lot of things that are new. We'll double check this once we get into starting it up, just to make sure we didn't miss anything. So let's dive into it. Again, there's still so much that needs to be done in franchise mode, man. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. All right, let's get over here. Let's go to franchise settings. Here we go. I knew there was another one in particular with the draft. So edit draft class strength. I think this will add some value to franchise mode because, as you can see, your depth at quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, tackles, interior line, offensive defensive ends, interior defensive line, linebackers, corners, safeties, kickers, punters. You can now determine the strength of each class. So you really can, customize how strong a certain class is. Is this a quarterback heavy class? Is it receiver heavy class? And as you can see, let's do receiver. You can do strong, very weak, or normal. So I'm going to be, playing with that as well. And I will mention it right now. I'll throw it out there. How would you guys like to see this set up? I'll help you, have you help me customize the league. I will let you help me customize. I can't talk right now. I will let you help me customize the draft class. So you guys tell me, how would you like these particular things to be in the first year's draft, right? Which position you want to be weak, strong, et cetera, et cetera. I will let you guys decide that and help me to decide that. And what I'm also going to do this particular year, I'm not going to download a draft class as far as a custom one. I'm just going to do auto-generated. Just to see how that plays out. So I think that's about it as far as the settings. Let's make sure. User settings. Yes, nothing else. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me show you the other settings that I'm going to use. And like I said, guys, I'm only doing this because people are always asking me, how I'm setting up my franchise, and I figure I'll go ahead and make the one video and get it out the way. And if anything I have to change throughout the year, I'll make a video in regards to that. I'm always going to receive, because if you don't want to kick off every time. That's just not realistic. I'm going to go with passing type. I'm going to do placement and accuracy, no slowdown, of course. And on the freeform reticle, I'm going to do no max distance. Speed, I'm going to try it out at 720. I think in Madden 13, I think in Madden 23, I used 13 and 20. But we'll try it out at 7 and 20 and see how that feels before we, start fooling around. Reticle visible and meter visibility, it shows how as the passing meter, does not affect the pass style at all. We'll leave that on user only. Ball hawk, we're gonna turn that off. I will turn on defensive switch assist and always show the user control player's play art when in pre-play. I'm gonna cut that on for the time being just to see exactly what's displayed there. And as far as everything else, I think we're good. With graphics, I'm gonna go to performance. It's already on there. I must have already changed that. And let's see, what else? Have not adjusted any sliders or anything yet, but there are a couple sliders that I will automatically change right away. And that will be right here. I'm going to go with what I was pretty much doing in the beta. I'm going to adjust pass blocking for the CPU, turn that all the way down to 20. At 20, I felt like I was getting pressure, but it wasn't overwhelming, because what I don't want to do is create insta sheds all the time. But when you're playing all Madden, you have to understand the CPU ratings are boosted and, the quote unquote cheats. So you want to try to combat that. For now, I will leave quarterback accuracy at 50 because in the beta, I was seeing, there were moments where CPU was still missing and, they were off the mark. So I will go ahead and roll with that for now. I'm not going to change anything else at the moment. I'm going to leave everything else the same. Actually, I will drop injuries to about 20. I'm going to turn fatigue up to 65. And I'm going to leave the speed threshold exactly where it's at. And everything else I'm going to leave as is. Like I said, I'm not getting into any of this stuff until the slider gurus get out of there. When they get out there and get their hands on it. And even when that happens, I'm probably going to still keep my base sliders what they are, but I will start to change penalties and things like that based off of other people's suggestions, XP sliders and auto sub and stuff like that. I will adjust. But other than that, man, I'm going to try to stay as close to default as possible with these particular sliders. The only other one I might have to change, depending on if it's balanced, is QB accuracy, but everything else I'm going to keep the same. And the reason why I do that, man, is that I always judge the game based off of how it plays on all Madden, right? Because I'm one that believes that the integrity of the game should play a certain way regardless, right? Even if it does have a little bump ups for the CPU. At all Madden, you're going to get the best challenge. You're going to get the most aggressiveness out of the CPU. So that's why I play there. And then I will adjust sliders here and there if I have to. But it's preferable to not have to do that, right? And I was playing the beta like this, and it felt pretty comfortable, very challenging. I lost games, won games. The only thing that felt a little too strong, which we could say that about most years, is the CPU pass protection. All right, so that's pretty much the only slider I'm going to adjust right now. And I might start turning the interceptions and stuff down as well as I go. But to start everything out, this is where I'm going to play. And, this is going to be the settings. And that's how we're going to rock out. All right, so I think that's about it as far as everything that I wanted to show in this video. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. Of course, guys, you got training camp now. We all know about that. These are the mini games that you can play before you start your franchise. And then after that, the mini games will be designated to your focus players through the season. But right now, if I go into mini games, training camp and go into mini games, just to show you that, I can choose any one of these and, I can go through them with the players of my choosing. But like I said, once the season starts, after that, you still have the minigame option for weekly prep, but it's only, you're only able to use your focus training player, if I remember correctly. But again, if I'm wrong with that, you'll see it in real time as I go through the franchise. But that's about all I got, man. I just wanted to show you guys my settings, how I plan to rock out, and we'll try to have some fun with this thing. But outside of that, man, stay tuned. I will be coming back to you very, 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 very soon. Very soon. So stay tuned for the first gameplay in this franchise, week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, week 1 of preseason, that is. All right, but outside of that, man, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, turn on your notifications. I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.